So apparently Davion Taylor is not too worried about his position on this team, not too worried about his role in the linebacking room. He just wants to see the whole linebacking crew get better. That sounds good, but should he be worried about such a crowded linebacker room? Let's get into it.
You want Philly food?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. So today I want to talk about Davion Taylor, man, and I want to talk about this linebacking core. There's a lot of good players. I didn't think I would say this last year. Last year I would never think I'd say this, but there is a lot of good players in that position. There's a lot of guys that can fill different types of roles that we need filled, and obviously the main topic of today is going to be Davion Taylor. Davion Taylor last year had a resurgence. You know, I feel like his first year, we didn't really get to see what he could be, what he was. So this year, we were able to see him healthier, I should say. His first year, he didn't really play at all. This year, didn't play much, but we were able to see him healthy and what he could bring to this team. So now it begs the question, what will year 3 bring for Davion Taylor, right? We were able to add some pieces. We were able to add, obviously, a Nakobe Dean in the draft. We were able to add some free agents. But before we get too deep in all that, be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. We are on the road to 4K. We would love for you guys to join that ride. And shout out to the shirt, you know what I'm saying? We're releasing a new shirt every day for the next next 4 days. I released 2 shirts already. So if you're on Twitter, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, you already seen the 2 shirts I released. I didn't release this one yet. So if you're a YouTuber, your YouTube family, you get a little sneak peek, but this is gonna be day 3. So shout out to y'all. If y'all want some shirts, just holla at me. We're going to get it popping. But let's talk about Davion Taylor. So Davion Taylor, I honestly, last year, I felt that he brought something that the Eagles were sorely lacking. And that was a guy that can go from sideline to sideline. We all like Alex Singleton, but he's not able to, you know, he wasn't really, in my opinion, able to go through the clutter, go through the muck and get to the play when it came down to it. If he had a free lane, he knew exactly which gap to hit, and he got through there and he did his thing. But Davion Taylor gave us a little bit something different, a little bit more of a weapon, right? You look at a Kaiser White, kind of similar to that. You know, Davion Taylor didn't show me I'm not ecstatic about him as a pass coverage guy, but at the end of the day, I know that he has the speed. I know he knows how to play the position as a pass coverage guy. So he adds that to it. So he probably should, you know, look, he probably should be worried about his spot. If I'm being 100% honest right now, everybody should be worried about their spot. You added a Kaiser White, like I said, who does that pass coverage. He's a very, very good pass coverage linebacker. You bring back a TJ Edwards, who obviously had a good year last year, was able to stay on the field. And then you add a Nakobe Dean. Right there, you got 3 guys that are possible starters. Where does Davion Taylor fall in? I would love for Davion Taylor to get a shot with this team. I think that he's very good. I think that when he was in, we saw a big difference when it comes to our run defense, when it comes to our pass defense. There was a big difference when TJ Edwards was in there with Davion Taylor, versus when Eric Wilson was there with Alex Singleton or whoever you want to say. Shoot, we even threw Sean Bradley in there, and he was looking decent with Davion Taylor. So to me, Davion Taylor brings that athleticism that you've been sorely lacking in the linebacker room, but you can say that about a lot of these guys. Now, this is a weird year. Last year, I really did feel like Davion Taylor had a chance to just break out and be one of our better, if not best, linebackers this year. But now you look at all the talent we've added, I don't even know how much he's going to see the field. I know that they like him as a special teams guy. I know that they like Sean Bradley as a special teams guy. But you're telling me Kaiser can't do some special teams? You're telling me that Nakobe Dean won't see a little bit of special team snaps? I get a little bit worried if I am Davion Taylor. I'd get a little bit worried that these young guys are going to come in here and take your spot. You're young too. Don't get me wrong, you're young too, but your best ability is your availability, and that's something that he has not been able to have for us. He has not been able to be on the field consistently for 16, 17 games, however long the season's going to be, but he hasn't been able to be out there for the long haul, and that in itself, to me, should worry you. You should be trying to go extra hard this offseason to prove that you deserve to be here. The Eagles are in a position that they can honestly clear house in a lot of different spots. They can say, Davion Taylor, you're good, but we have so many assets, we have so much money, we have so many draft picks that we can just move on from you. We can get something for you and do that. So it obviously, it depends if he wants to be a Philadelphia Eagle, but if he wants to be a Philadelphia Eagle, is a make or break a year. This is a big year for Davion Taylor, and this is a big year for the rest of that linebacking crew. You know, we talk about it, TJ Edwards. He's coming into a year that, look, he went from a guy that was basically completely unknown, if we're being 100% honest, you know, came into the NFL as an underdog. We were able to kind of see what he did as he matured. He came out last year and, in my opinion, had one of his best years as a Philadelphia Eagle. TJ Edwards, we'll see what happens this year. I do believe that he'll continue to be the starter there. And then you look at a Nakobe Dean. Obviously should have probably been a first, at least a second round pick. We get him in the third round. You know, he's already having talks of him getting the green dot. There's already conversations. I made a video about this not too long ago, but there's conversations about him being the defensive leader already. Him being that Mike guy already, that, you know, that takes the calls in and puts everybody in their position. That's not a light task. That's not easy, you know. So if he's able to take that, that's another position taken. Like I said, Kaiser White, I don't know too much about Kaiser White. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Obviously, I know that he had a breakout year last year with the Chargers. Obviously, we know the Chargers fans were upset about him leaving. When you watch the tape, like I said, you can see that he has coverage skills. You can see that he's a little bit undersized, but I like the kid. I think that he's good. There's another guy, Kyron Johnson, that we got in the draft that may end up seeing some snaps. I mean, the kid can do a lot of different things well. He can be a edge rusher. He can be, you know, your stand-up linebacker. So there's so many different things you can do with this team. Jacoby Stevens, we talked about last year. We had him on the show last year when he was a rookie. He was working a lot with Nick Rallis. He told us he was working a lot with Nick Rallis, the linebackers coach. So there's so many players. Who are you going to put there? Hassan Riddick can stand up, right? Like we can keep going down the line of all these players that we have, and they're all competition, almost direct competition to Davion Taylor. So if I'm Davion Taylor, I'm a little bit nervous. If I'm Davion Taylor, I'm a little bit nervous. This year is it for you. You have to go out there and prove that you're worth a second contract. And in my opinion, the Eagles made it very hard for that linebacking position to stand out, unless you're just head and shoulders above the group. And honestly, the only person right now I see that's maybe head and shoulders above the group is Nakobe Dean. Outside of that, it's a bunch of guys that we try to put together and see if they fit together. We've never taken the linebacker position seriously. This is the first year I think that we did. We probably could have went a little bit harder at the linebacking position, but we kind of took it serious. We got some players in there. So this is going to be tough. Davion Taylor, if it was last year, I would say that you would probably be a lock to make this team. And this year, I don't think you won't make the team. I'm not going to say you won't make the team, but all eyes are on you. Jonathan Gannon has to watch you like a hawk. Nick Rallis has to watch you like a hawk. And we got to make sure you're going to be the guy for the future. So I'm hoping, and I'm knocking on wood, I'm praying to God, I'm throwing out all the good vibes to my man DT, and I'm hoping that Davion Taylor can at least stay healthy this year so he has the full opportunity to just kind of show who he is. But I would love to know what you guys are thinking. How do you feel this linebacking room is going to shake up? And how do you feel about Davion Taylor basically saying he's not too worried about his role just yet? I know it's early, but this is what we do. You know what I'm saying? There's no football on right now. What am I supposed to talk about? Golf or something? You know, I don't know what you guys want. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. Peace!
Everywhere, this is for
Yeah.
you.
Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling with Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season here, early time to do 'em in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.